This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The government's $232 million Sandy Bottom project that's expected to equip the Royal Bahamas Defense Force to better man Bahamian borders is progressing steadily with the completion of the first of 9 new ships.
Fresh off of a European tour, the National Security Minister announced yesterday that 3 other ships are also nearing completion.
Canino Knowles tonight updates us on the progress.
It's been months since government signed a contract with the Damen shipyard in Amsterdam for the construction of 9 new vessels, which will help protect this country's borders from constant breaches by illegal migrants and poachers. And in that short time, the project has progressed steadily with already the completion of the Arthur Dion Hanna, which is the first of 4 42-meter vessels.
We are very satisfied with its performance. It is currently equipped with what you call a RIB, RHIB, which is an inflatable boat which it can release to finalize any encounters it might have on the sea.
National Security Minister the Honourable Dr. Bernard Nottage is just back from a week-long European tour where he was able to visit the construction site in Amsterdam to get a first-hand look at what we'll be getting. The European tour also took the minister and his delegation to the Van Oord Dredging Company, which is responsible for expanding the port at the Coral Harbour base in Ragged Island and in Inagua. There, the minister and his team finalized the contract and discussed the processes that the company will undertake in the harbour expansion.
Their concentration is on efficiency, on timeliness, and on cost. And we're satisfied that the plans that they have in place and the project team that they identified to us shall start their work shortly, and we hope will be completed toward the end of next year.
But for Defence Force Commodore Roderick Bowe, training is most important, especially considering the advanced technology these ships will come equipped with. It's why he set a team of about 14 Defence Force officers to train in the Netherlands, with more to be sent in the coming months. But he's hoping government will also acquire a simulator to train future captains and crew members here at home.
The minister was able to see Van Oord's series of simulators for their ships, and it was very impressive. It helps to cut down the operating costs of training for those persons who will operate the ship.
With the contract with Damen and Van Oord amounting to some $232 million, it's extremely important that we get it right, that we get what we contracted for, and that we get it in a timely fashion, and that our men are prepared to be able to operate these vessels, that our harbors are prepared to receive the vessels, and that we can do a much improved job in carrying out the mandate of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
The Arthur D. Hanna will make its way to the Bahamas from Amsterdam by late May. Canino Knowles, ZNS Network News.
The Christian Church observed Palm Sunday yesterday and marks a triumphal entry of Jesus into Jerusalem. And for one local church, it also ushered in a second chance for its embattled pastor.
Convicted sex offender Bishop E. Randy Frazier was officially commissioned as senior pastor of Palms of Victory Kingdom Ministry as supporters welcomed his return to pastoral leadership.
Amen. He is no longer pastor elect. He is now pastor.
It was a red letter day for the newly formed Palms of Victory Kingdom Ministry as the church officially commissioned its first leader, convicted sex offender Bishop E. Randy Frazier. More than 250 members and supporters filled Workers' House Sunday afternoon to witness Frazier be reinstated as a church leader, some 5 months since his release from prison. Several noted religious leaders, including Reverend T.G. Morrison, Bishop Walter Hanschel, and Reverend Dr. Philip McPhee, participated in the service. Speaking openly for the first time following the major religious scandal, the former Pilgrim Baptist Church senior pastor made a public apology.
I take this step further and say to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and indeed the Christian Church, that I apologize to you for my pastoral misjudgment, which has brought disdain to the body of Christ. For this, I am sorry.
During his incarceration, Bishop Frazier said he thought long and hard about life after his release. Will he ever pastor again, being a convicted criminal and his credibility shot? But he said only God can turn a mess into a message, a test into a testimony, a trial into triumph, and a victim into a victor.
The punch has punched you out. The guardian didn't guard you. The tribune was the tribunal, 3 courts. The Bahama press pressed me to pieces. Facebook messed up my face. They say you were finished. But God, despite all what was going on, bless me.
Bishop Fraser thanked those staunch members who weathered the storm with him, even becoming emotional as he thanked his wife and 2 daughters who stood as pillars through the whole ordeal. And after 8 years of suffering public disgrace, the new senior pastor asked only this month.
I want to assure you that I'm living in the present. I'm not looking back. I'm pressing forward, y'all. So I say to you, let it go.
Infestation of rats, roaches, mosquitoes, and poor ventilation are just some of the issues that members of the Prison Officers Association are concerned about at Her Majesty's Prison. Association President Gregory Archer, along with the association's attorney, Dennis Williams, says they've followed protocol, but their concerns have fallen on deaf ears.
We have met, we have talked, and the problems are still there. I don't know for what reason we are meeting, if we're not going to bring resolution to the problem, but I know the Bahamas Prison Officers Association staff, we are at the point where we refuse to work in such horrible conditions.
There's been a sports field open in the back of the prison, and inmates can use that field and interact with members in the public without proper checks. That should never be. They're still using slop buckets today. That itself is very unhealthy.
Union executives say they are also concerned about a correctional bill expected to be tabled in Parliament that they claim officers are not properly trained to deal, and the present state of the prison they say will not facilitate it. Retirement age and tenure of prison officers was also a concern. Minister Shane Gibson, however, said that he was unaware of the association's issues, but NCTU President John Pinder, who supports the association, says that if the matter is not resolved, other unions are prepared to take action.
I really can't come on there because I'm here for the first time, and so I don't want to disadvantage them because I don't see how me commenting speculatively through the press would assist their situation.
So there's been no meetings with you?
Not with me.
At some point, the Congress has to show full support to the association. They are a disciplined force, and so to some extent their hands are tied, but we are civilians, and we have a number of our members who are part of the NTTU, affiliates who are civilians. We have some leverage to do some things.
Employees of the gaming board who were either terminated or suspended by the chairman of the board have all had that decision reversed. This according to Bahamas Public Services Union President John Pinder. All of them, he said, would have returned back to work today.
4 persons that were terminated were all reinstated, and one of the persons is, as a matter of fact, just returning back to work today. Okay? The person that was suspended is also back to work good. My information was there should have been no loss of salaries and no loss of time for either of those persons. And so we're satisfied that the minister and the prime minister have done what was in the best interest of those workers, and to foster and keep a good working relationship with the Bahamas Public Services Union.
And another trailblazer in sports goes home. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.